What's up, y'all? Welcome to my channel. Ellarie here. Today I'm creating this look for you here. Pretty much once again just using some new stuff I got and seeing how I liked it. And you guys know what I found out after filming this video. Great news, because it's going to save me so much stress in the future. I am not filming any more first impressions, reviews, new makeup video, period, unless it's on a Friday. Because when I tell you this tutorial took me way longer than I thought it was, and I wanted to go like take a shot to calm my nerves so many times, but it's Thursday, it's not quite Friday, and I'm trying to stick with my no drinking on the weekdays rule. But I need to save this stress on a Friday where I can sip something, but I had to just torture myself and fight through it, and we made it out. And if you want to find out how I did this, of course continue to watch, and do not forget to like and subscribe if you will. Thank you. All I've been through with this eye, this look better turn out cute, because I'm stressed. I'm using some new stuff, and some of the stuff was a little trickier than I thought. One of the new things that I used today was this Huda Beauty Remastered Rose Gold palette. I've used the original version of this palette a few times on my channel, but I never really used the foiled shadows just because I like to keep things simple. I just try to keep it simple. And sometimes foiled shadows and having to use like a wet brush, a finger, all that good stuff, I just don't be having time for it. I don't be wanting to do all that. So I never really used like the top row in that palette because those were like all foiled. I kind of just used the colors like at the bottom because it has some pretty good matte transition colors. So I was like, yeah, she switched out the like foiled shadows with some like metallic-y shadows, which should be much easier to use. It's awesome. And then, you know, you'll see in a minute, it didn't really quite turn out the way I had planned. Anyways, let's start with the easy part. Okay, my eye is primed. I'm gonna go into Sandalwood, this nude matte shade down here. I haven't really used the last palette in a while, so I don't remember how the kickback was on that one, but it seems like this one, they are pressed a little softer and there's a little more kickback, which I guess it just depends on your care. But like I said, since I don't have them both to compare, I could be wrong. I'm just going off my memory here. But I'm not heavy-handed when I dip into my shadows anyway. I'm always kind of... So kickback usually doesn't bother me, especially if the pigment is really good. And I'm just blending this under the brow as my first transition shade. Next, I'm using this Sigma M518 brush, and I'm going into henna, and I'm gonna buff that right under Sandalwood, more towards the crease, and concentrating mostly in the outermost part of the eye. I'm going off the eye a little bit too because I don't have any foundation on, so when I clean it, it's gonna be nice and pretty. And for my last transition shade, I'm using Cocoa, and this is going to be my crease and outer V color. And we're gonna play with that crease a little bit more after we do this lid, which was where I faced my difficulties. So I thought because of what these shadows up top looked like, that they'd be just easy to use, like dry with a synthetic brush. I don't have 20/20 vision, but just from like my plain eyeball, they just look like buttery metallic shades. So I was like, oh great, now I don't have to wet my brush and we can just keep the party going. But that was not the case, and I'll show you what I mean. I have a flat synthetic brush, which is all that's all I needed. It's dry and clean, and I'm gonna dip it into Fling. Let's try this one right up here. I've tried all of them, but we're just gonna try this one for now. I'm even putting a lot of product on the brush, okay? As you can see, it is not, it's not there. Well, it is there, but it's just not very pigmented. And I'm gonna get just a normal, regular shadow. This is from the Katy Kat CoverGirl collection. It's a drugstore shadow. And when I run this one down, you obviously see the difference. So you still can't use these melted metals with a dry brush, which is very sad news for me. I was excited about that. You can, however, use them with your finger. See the difference? Or you can use them how I'm gonna use them, because you guys know I hate using my fingers with my nails, which is with some setting spray. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter. Just get the brush wet. And this is how it looks wet. So yeah, even though I kind of assumed when I read on the back that they were melted metals, I kind of assumed before I started that I couldn't use them dry. They just looked like I could. So if you're not lazy like me, that won't bother you that you have to wet your brush or use your finger or whatnot. That's just, you know, I like to save those days for my fancy days. And this wasn't supposed to be a fancy day for me. No, it was not. Anyways, I'm gonna spray my brush with the All Nighter, and I'm going into 24K, and I am going to carve out my lid, but I'm going to stop when I get to the outermost part of the eye. Now I'm getting a small taper brush and going back into Cocoa, and I'm kind of going at a slant towards the lash line. Then to add a little shimmer to the eye, I went over the gold with this Dose of Colors Block Party Shadow in the shade Heart of Gold. So as far as these are concerned, I didn't swatch all of them because there was a lot. But I did swatch a couple, and I can say, like, first impression, some of them are way more creamier than others, and some of them have way more glitter than others. I have like the 6 swatches that I did do on my arm. So like this one right here, it wasn't as creamy as the others, meaning like you could see more of the glitter than the actual color behind it. But then like this blue one and this pinky one and even this gold one that I used on my lid, they were really buttery, and the pigment just like came through like right away. These are all on one swipe, but they are still all really pretty. She has some great shades in here. There's a lot to choose from, and I like to use shadows like this as toppers because I feel like when you pop them over a similar color, it doesn't even have to be a similar color, but you pop it over like a coordinating color, and it just brings out like that extra oomph. These are also best applied with your finger to get like the true color out of them, but you even got to be careful when you're swirling your finger around these babies because they are very sensitive. A couple of them came broken, and I even broke one myself. I was trying to open them because this little case was hard to open, and my finger slid through and just tore the whole thing up. Like, the whole thing's tore up. That's why I'm not doing swatches of all of them too, because some of them are broken. But so don't feel like you're the only one if you order it and it comes broken. I'm sure they'll replace it for you, but they're very sensitive, so you got to be careful with these. Don't the box should come in the package, the fragile label on it. Be careful with these. I'm just going to swirl my finger in there as such and dab this all over the gold shade on my lid. Then I got a flat angled brush and went back into Cocoa to get that sharp line back in the crease. And then finally just blended everything else out. Okay, so once you finish blending and perfecting your lines, making them sharp, all that whatnot, whatever you have the patience for, that's why I usually leave these looks to Nikki Tutorials, because she's bomb at that. She has the patience. I just don't have it. I'm not built for patience. Then we can move on to the rest of the face. Now, I was going to film like my full face, but these eyes, I ain't even finished with the eyes, but they just took me so long that I don't even have time to go through my full face because gotta go pick up my child soon. I'm gonna skip over the in-depth full face tutorial. Okay, and before I finish the rest of the face, I did want to stop here because I'm using a new face palette that like literally just came out. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys know I recently celebrated the launch of this palette with Becca, the Light. This one is the medium deep palette. I have been using this one, so don't mind its appearance. And basically they come with a brightening powder, a blurring powder, a blush, and a contour powder. What I love though about Becca's powders is that they are so like good. The quality of them is so good. You don't really have to pay attention to what's a blurring powder, what's a contour powder, what's a blush. You don't really have to pay attention to that. You can actually use whatever powder for whatever you want to use it for. You can use the contour powder if it's not your shade, but you really like the other ones. You can use it on your eye. Same with the blush. You can use as blush, you can use as a highlight. So I just finished my contour, and this is usually the part where I either do a translucent powder or I go into my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. Sometimes I do both, sometimes I just do my Mineralized Skin Finish. But this color is very similar to my matte powder, and it also has the blush that I'm going to use. So I'm just going to use this palette, and I'm going to use it the same way that I usually use my MAC powder and put it under my eyes. And pretty much all the areas that I highlighted, and also right underneath my contour. See how it like warms up my face more, and it just helps blend my contour and bring everything together. You also don't just have to use one powder. Like if this was too light or I wasn't so heavy with my highlight, which, you know, some days I'm heavy highlight, some days I'm heavy not highlight. Today I'm heavy on the concealer. You can also just swap in between this darker one and this light one and kind of blend them together, because the way they formulate their powders, they just like to merge. They blend together very, very easily, so you can make your own little custom color with it. Then after that, I just swirl into this pretty bronzy looking blush. It has like a mixture of like some pink, some gold, some bronze colors in it. And I'm going to blush this onto my cheeks. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? I'm kind of going a little bit in the apples and then up where I would normally highlight. A little up here. And another little cute bonus feature of this palette, which I thought was a really nice touch. This campaign had different mantras that went with it, such as like be fearless, be confident, spread love and light, which was my mantra. So whenever you purchase this palette, it obviously comes with a beautiful mirror. You know, Becca always has pretty nice packaging, but it also comes with a mantra at the top, and you won't know what your mantra is until you purchase the palette. So for instance, the one that I've been using in my medium deep palette says be fearless. I know it's really tough to read, but it's right here at the top. And yours may say something different. I actually love the mantra be fearless because I feel like being fearful kind of holds you back from things you want to do in life. So I think it's really cool that, you know, all the palettes come with different ones just to motivate you when you're doing your makeup. You see it in there, kind of may lift your spirits, or, you know, whatever day you're having, make you feel better if you just repeat the mantra. So A+ for you, Becca. Cool idea and very empowering. Now let's finish these daunting eyes. Okay, so the rest of the eye is really simple. I just put on some black liner on the waterline as usual. I tried to do brown at first, but it just wasn't working for me. So I went over it with black. And then I got a smudger brush and smudged cocoa on the lower lash. And then for the inner corner, I was going to use a highlighter, but I really didn't want that much going on right there. So I just got a pencil brush and dabbed it into Heart of Gold. Even though it's not really going to pick up a lot, that's kind of the point. I just want it very lightly in the inner corner. Finally, just lashes, liner, mascara. This liquid liner is from CoverGirl. I can't say what these lashes are because they're not for sale. I apologize. But this mascara is Bad Girl Bang by Benefit. I had to switch it up real quick first because I still wasn't feeling cute, you know. You ain't really cute until you get your hair did. I was just gonna throw on a gloss because I've actually been wearing glosses a lot more lately. We've just been connecting. And I was gonna grab Stilo, but I am fresh out and waiting for my re-up to come. So instead I'm gonna grab Sassy, both of which are from my ColourPop collection. And this is an ultra matte lip. Give me a little setting spray. And there she goes. So final thoughts on a few of the new things that I used in this toot. The Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered palette. Since I have the first one, I could actually live without the second one just because I never used some of those metal shadows anyway. However, I will say that the second palette is easier to use than the first. So if you don't have the first one, you might want to get that one instead, because even the melted foils are easier to work with to me than the foiled shadows in the first palette. What else? The Dose of Colors Block Party shadows. I liked most of them. I will use most of them. I will not use all of them. So it kind of just depends on your color choices. But I love popping like shadows like that over regular eyeshadows to give them like an extra pop. So they're worth it to me. And the Becca Be a Light palette, obviously I like that as well. I didn't even have to put a highlighter on today because that blush in there is popping. I love the way their powders just blend into the skin so effortlessly. Links are also below of where you can find all this stuff. But that's it. So, per usual, let me know what you guys want to see down below in the comments. And until next time, love ya.